Good evening. You know, we all saw what happened to those police officers just last week when they were doused with water. They were so disrespected. But that is nothing compared to what correctional officers have to endure in the jails every fucking day. And you have an impotent union and an impotent administration. We know what we got with the inmates, but you expect to have your back taken care of by the administration and by your union, but your union has been laying down the same way that PBA has not protected those officers out in the streets. Your former union president, Seelig, was getting a kickback, and I question whether that was the only one. And some of these numbers will reveal why I believe that in just a moment. We're going to hand those out, but not just yet. Give me a moment. $19 million was the loss to all the correction officers that had money in the annuity fund when Seelig wanted to dip his hand into the piggy bank so that he could get a $60,000 kickback. He was convicted by that. He's still out in the street, and when we served him papers just the other day, he was out in his backyard drinking beer. He's still a free man. But he's no fucking better than those inmates that we guard every day. And quite frankly, they did less than what he's done to each and every one of you who had an annuity fund money in there. My law firm is trying to claw that back, and we served another petition. We were in federal court, and we alleged that there were RICO statutes violated both civilly and criminally, and that they should pay the executive board, not just Seelig, because they turned a blind eye. And why? Because they have cars, expense accounts, taking trips all over the country, and sometimes out of the country on your dime. And then meanwhile, you're suffering in the jails. These are lowlives. These are selfish lowlives. And by the way, when we served them, the process server went in, he saw Seelig in the backyard drinking beer. When he went into the COBA office, he had 2 ducks, one in each arm. He's going to serve them papers. And Elias comes out, some of the board come out, and they said, "What's this all about?" He says, "These are the pigs I've been telling you about." And they said, "What are you talking about? Those aren't pigs, those are ducks." And the process server said, "Shut up, I'm talking to the ducks." Now, being a correctional officer for 20 years, president for 14, I was very fortunate to be elected very early. And it ain't easy for a Jew to get elected in this agency, believe me. I was elected with 84% in a 4-way race right out of the bat. And politicians are all asking, well, how come you keep on getting elected by such an overwhelming vote? You're Jewish. You got a minority agency. Before that, it was Italian and Irish. They vote Italian or they vote Irish. I said, well, my members vote green. And that's because we deliver good contracts and good benefits. So we served them with a lawsuit. It's a derivative action. The one in federal court was thrown out because they said we had a demand of them to sue themselves, that the executive board should sue themselves. We said, that would be futile, Your Honor. He said, no, you had to do it. Okay, so now we made a demand on them. We're back in court. And that court is in Queens County because that's where the COBA is. And we're looking to get that money back from Seelig, from Kohler and Isaacs, and from all of the board members that were there that allowed this to happen. The treasurer had a post on those checks. What was he doing? I'm surprised he didn't get collared too, because he signed a check. Come on, you have a fiduciary responsibility to your members. It's not their money, but they're treating the COBA dues as their money. It ain't their money, it's each and every one of your money that you're putting in for that annuity fund for you when you are separated from service through termination. Death, it goes to your estate. If you retire, that's fine, you're going to get it, or if you get promoted, you can either roll it over, take it out, put it in the captain's union, deductions, but that's your money. It ain't their money to play with. This is outrageous. And what I'm surprised at is that there isn't a full house here pissed the hell off because of what this union has been doing to each and every one of you. It's amazing. But I have some proof positive. Please hand out these flyers. I'm going to show you in black and white just how much rip-offs these people are toward you. And this has to get out to the membership. They have to learn about this. You're going to learn today, if you don't already know, if you weren't here last time, some of you have seen this, but you need to really digest this. And I'm going to go through it with you in detail so that you can fully understand. And once you do, you have a dynamic leader here in Javier, and you need to back his play, because there's a need for a change, and a change is needed, and a change is coming. You back his play, you back COTAS's play, because that may be your only play. So now that you have the papers in front of you, I want to go over it. This is a 990 form. This is what the COBA submitted. You can look it up. You just go 990 search, and you can find it on the internet. It's not something that I got, although I did also do a FOIL request, and I have other documents as well, which I'm not sharing today, but that I have the full dossier on the COBA. So what does this say? On the front page, it says dues income. You see at the top COBA, and then if you go down to line 9, dues income. They call it program services. That means dues. They took in, on the right side is the current year, $10.5 million. That was 2016 to 17. It's a fiscal year of July 1st to June 30th. So it spans those 2 years. If you look down to member benefits, number 14, and you look to the right, how much was given back to the members? Zero. Zero. You do have dental and you have optical, but that doesn't come from dues money. The insurance doesn't come from dues money. I'll explain that down the road, but you got to give me a few minutes to work through this document, then I'll go to the others. Next page. On the back, if you look at 11B, legal, 1.235. That's in addition to the over $6 million that Kohler and Isaacs gets from the welfare fund. But they've been telling members they only give them $500,000. Says it right here, 1.2 for legal. Then it says, and by the way, there's another $750,000 for what's called civil legal. It comes from the contract, $75 per head. That goes directly to the law firm. It can't go to the union. It has to go to the law firm. That's a contractual obligation by the city. If you go down to G, it says other. And it's $363,000. Now, I had CPAs and accountants. You know what other is? That's where you hide shit. That's where you don't want to say exactly where the money's going. And that's a big number, but that's not the end of it. Go down to travel. $444,000. Now, I don't know about you, but as far as I'm concerned, correction officers work in the city of New York. It's not like they're all over the United States. If they were all over the United States, maybe you'd have to spend that kind of money on plane fare and such. What does it cost? Most of it is on Rikers Island. Their office is in Queens. How do they justify $444,000 for travel? I'll tell you, because they give them cars, expense accounts, credit cards, gas money, not to go to Rikers, not to go to Brooklyn House of Detention or the Queen's Courts. That's to go home. And then to go on their weekend trips. Oh, I'll fill it up because I got the COBA card. You think that's all business money that's going into those gas tanks? Do you think it's all city miles? I mean, correction officer miles that they're putting on their cars? No way. Let's keep on going. Conferences, conventions, and meetings. You know, you could have a meeting, yeah, it's once a month, spend a few $100s at some place. They're not giving a smorgasbord there. They're renting a hall. Come on. Over $250,000 to the conventions. You know where those conventions are? Those are the ones where they fly out to Puerto Rico, to California, to Las Vegas, to Hawaii, wherever. And then they're charging the union. And by the way, they're bringing their spouse. And who do you think's paying for those meals when they're dining at the fine restaurants? It's going to be you. They're digging into your pocket. They're reaching in, pardon ladies, they're reaching into your front pocket and massaging your balls and then reaching into your back pockets and pulling out your wallets. That's what's happening here. You think water on an officer is an affront? This is an affront. This is outrageous. There should be pickets in front of their office every goddamn day. How do you let this go? You don't let the inmates treat you that way. You stand up to inmates, but you won't stand up to the COBA executive board? What's wrong with this group? Now, I led 4 full-fledged job actions. The last one that Valentine mentioned was a 2-day work stoppage. Now, I'm not encouraging a violation of the Taylor Law, but those officers stood up, and you need to do the same. Only your fight is not with the administration. Your fight is with your own union, because they ain't doing shit for you, and they're pocketing your money. They're grandizing themselves, but what are they doing for you? A lot of lip service from what I see, and a lot of corruption from what I see. Let's keep going. Member services. Now this is less than 10% of the dues they take in. And what else is member services but a catch-all? Well, what does that mean? So if there is a board member that handles grievances and is spending money to take offices to a restaurant and then going out on his own and spending some money at a restaurant, is that member services? What is member services? I don't know, but I know what. That's the most that they can say they're giving back to the offices is less than 10%, maybe 8% of the dues they take in is going back to offices. Where's the rest of the money going? It's going into their pockets, for their cause, for their excessive pay. And what is their excessive pay? Their excessive pay is over $1 million to the board. Over $1 million to the board. More than they're giving back to the nearly 10,000 officers go into 10 people's pockets. And they're getting paid by the city too. And they have a life because they ain't going to the jail. They ain't working in the jail. They're not worried about getting assaulted or being written up on charges because they fought back and defended themselves and then get indicted. They're not worried about that because they're all on release time. And by the way, even though it's not in this paper, because they don't have enough members on release time, they pay the city out of your dues money to get more of their board off on release time. That's what's going on in your union. Now, when I was running a union, I had 11,000 members, and I had 3 people released: myself, the treasurer, and the first vice president. That was it. And we did a better job than they're doing. They're running around having a grand old time on your dime. Let's turn the page. This one is the flow chart. Now, if you look at the top left, it says cash income, members' dues deducted from their paycheck by city finance. That's the money that is the $10+ million that is given to the COBA. First it goes to the city takes it out from your paycheck, and then they hand over a check to the union, but of course they take their vig, because the city's like a mafia too, and they want to have a little piece of the action. That goes into the COBA general fund. That's the dues money, and that's the document that I was going over with you, which was the IRS filing for that, their latest filing. What do they give to the offices? Absolutely nothing in benefits from that fund. Then there are other funds that are funded by the city through the contract obligations of the city to the COBA and its members, to you as officers, for the work you do. The first one is the COBA annuity fund, and that after 5 years under the current contract is $1,441 per member. The union then is supposed to invest that money, and then upon separation from service, you're able to get your share of that with whatever interest and principal or losses when they put it into a hedge fund that happens to be a Ponzi scheme. And by the way, the COBA charges an administrative fee to do this for you. Then, the City of New York is contractually obligated to pay into the Security Benefits Fund active. That's where the dental comes from, your prescription drug coverage, your life insurance, and legal representation, a prepaid legal plan. And optical plan, shouldn't leave that out. That money is now around $2,500 per member per year. Then they have the same thing, but they have it for retirees. So they get money for the 10,000 retirees, and they purchase through vendors coverage for retirees. So when you're a retiree, you're going to have coverage also paid for by the city. None of this is paid for by your dues. Every member thinks, oh, that's my dues, I'm getting a drug coverage, I'm getting an optical plan. No, the city's paying for that because you're working for the city. The union's not paying for that. They're taking the money and then pissing it away in the following way, which I'll explain. And that's why your coverages suck. The last is the civil legal, and that's when you get jammed up on a 1983 action, civil rights violation, either criminal or civil. And the union attorneys have to represent you if the city says you acted outside the scope of your authority. Used to be they always indemnified. Now they almost never do. Oh no, he acted outside the scope of his authority. He's on his own. Or she. I don't want to be chauvinistic here. We know we have many women, fine women, correction officers. And so you can see on the right, for the Security Benefits Fund, which is the third box down on the right, Security Benefits Fund active, members only, dollars spent. For dental, $3.6 million. Life insurance, almost $2 million. Optical, $333,000. Administrative fee, yes, the COBA takes another $1 million on top of the $10.5 million they get from your dues from the Security Benefits Fund. And they put that where? Toward the cars, the expense accounts, and all the other shit that they have. That's not here, though. They didn't put that in the 990 form because it came from Security Benefits. And then at the very bottom it says prepaid legal. That's Kohler and Isaacs. By the way, if you don't know, Richard Kohler was Commissioner of Correction. And he still has commissioner mentality, and that's why officers are treated the way they are. I don't have to tell you. You could probably tell me how piss poor the representation is when officers get jammed up. $5,720,000 21,000. That's on top of the 712,000 plus whatever they get from the dues. That's nearly $8 million going to the law firm. You want to know why your dental plan sucks? You want to know why your drug reimbursement plan sucks? It's because all of that money is going to COLA. Seabrook was COLA's driver when COLA was commissioner. So when Seabrook wanted to run for president, COLA helped him. And now he's helping COLA, and given Seabrook's history, maybe COLA is helping him again. Because this is an enormous amount of money for a prepaid legal plan. I ran it when I was president. I hired attorneys to represent the 11,000 members. I know what law firms cost. I have 2 law firms that I'm senior partner of and ownership of. This is an obscene amount of money, and when you want to know where your money's going, it's in this number here. And this comes from the FOIL request that I made to the city about COBA. Those are actual numbers. I didn't make these numbers up. Turn the page, please. On the back, on the same form, there's like an addendum to this 990 form. It's called Schedule O. And if you go down to the one where I handwrit, when did that happen? If you just read it, it says, the association holds periodic general membership meetings in which decisions of the executive board are approved by the membership. Never. Come on, anybody that's gone to a meeting has never seen the executive board go to them and say, oh, we just made this decision about the dental plan, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. We'd like to get your vote on it. We'd like to get your input. I know from the feedback of the offices that I've spoken to that have come to my office and those that I still know in the department, that doesn't happen. But yet that's the filing they put with the government because they're trying to fool the government to make it seem like it's a democratic organization. It is anything but. They're ripping you off, and there's a change agent right here standing in front of you who does have integrity, who is willing to fight, and he needs soldiers to fight with him because the general is only as strong as his own. Now I can tell you I'm going to do my bit with that lawsuit, and I fully intend to claw back that money. And if when we do discovery, assuming we get that far and it's not thrown out by corrupt court judges, because let's face it, I'm pretty cynical about the court system. But if we get to discovery and I find anything, I'm walking over to Martin Bell, the U.S. attorney that prosecuted Seabrook, because I think there's a lot to be found when we do the discovery material. There's a lot here that they've admitted to. Imagine what they've hidden. All those little items, other expenses. Well, I'm going to find out what those other expenses were. And when we do, there's going to be hell to pay. And then when there's a change, then you will have an opportunity to right the ship, to get this on the right track, and to get the kind of representation that each and every one of you sitting here and everyone that's working on Rikers Island and those borough facilities and those courts deserve to have. You deserve far better. But if you allow this to happen to yourselves, then shame on you. You're like a woman who is being abused by a husband, and it says, but I love you. If you love this executive board, there's something wrong with you. You're an abused person. And you have to fight back. And anything I can do to help you, I'll be there for you. I'm planning something, and there'll be announcements down the road, but we're not letting this go. I'm not letting it go. And quite frankly, you're facing, and the captain touched on it, about receivership. There are a lot of rumors going on. Some of you have heard, some of you haven't, but they're talking about a federal government takeover, a state government takeover, and just a historical note. When Ben Ward was commissioner during my tenure, early in the early 80s, they wanted to sell Rikers Island to the state, and I wasn't having it. And I went to the Elmhurst community boards, and I spoke to them, and I said, do you want to have convicted felons in Rikers Island? And when they escape, you want them raping your wives and your daughters. I got them all riled up. We went to City Hall. I killed a deal, $500 million deal, back in 1980. That was a big deal back then. You can fight, the union can fight, but all I see is sitting on their hands while all the money is coming in from the offices, and well, we'll ride this out as long as we can. They haven't taken them on. They haven't challenged them about anything, not effectively. Oh, we're going to Albany, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're fighting for this, we're fighting for that. Meanwhile, the conditions that you suffer have not gotten better. With each successive year, they've gotten worse. So what is the message? The message is your union has been impotent, they've been ineffective, and they haven't been there for you. The only thing they value of you is the money that comes out of your paycheck and into their pockets. With that, I'll leave you. I'm used to being a correction officer. I'm used to a more captured audience, but you've been really very courteous to me. I truly appreciate it. I hope to meet all of you over time. Thank you very much.